Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're talking about something we all face at one point or another, feeling overwhelmed by work. Whether it's a stack of homework, endless assignments, or a to-do list that keeps growing at work, that feeling of being overloaded can really take a toll on our mental and physical health. But the good news is, we can manage it in a healthy way. So, let's break it down into some simple, practical tips that work for both teenagers and adults. A lot of times, we're overloaded because we set goals that are way too big. Now, don't get me wrong, it's great to have high standards, but if your goals are too ambitious, it's easy to feel overwhelmed. For example, maybe you're a high school student trying to ace every subject, while also playing sports or managing extracurriculars. Or maybe you're working on a project at your job that feels massive. Here's a tip. Break it down. Instead of focusing on the big picture, focus on smaller, manageable tasks. If you're working on a huge paper or presentation, break it into parts. One day, just focus on research. The next day, tackle the outline. The key is to break down larger tasks into smaller, more achievable steps. Next up is prioritization. Whether you're in school or at work, not all tasks are equally important. But when you're stressed, everything can feel like it's urgent, right? That's when prioritizing can save the day. Here's how. Create a list of everything you need to do, then label them in terms of urgency and importance. What absolutely needs to be done today? What can wait until tomorrow? For teens, this might look like focusing on assignments due tomorrow rather than trying to finish an entire project due next week. For adults, it might mean tackling the biggest task for your workday first, so the smaller tasks feel less overwhelming later on. And remember, not everything needs to be perfect. Focus on doing the important things well, rather than trying to do everything perfectly. One of the most important and often overlooked things you can do when you're feeling overloaded is to take breaks. I know, it sounds counterproductive. When you're buried in work, it feels like you need to power through, right? But hear me out. Taking short, regular breaks actually boosts your productivity. For teens, this might mean stepping away from the textbooks every 45 minutes for a quick 5 to 10-minute break. Adults, try the same approach at work. Stand up, stretch, get some fresh air, or even do a quick mindfulness exercise. It might seem like you're losing time, but when you come back to your work, you'll feel recharged and ready to focus. Remember the phrase, work smarter, not harder. Breaks help you stay sharp. Let's talk about a tough one. Saying no. If you're constantly overloaded, it might be because you're saying yes to too many things. And I get it, it's hard to say no. You don't want to let people down, right? But remember, if you say yes to everything, you won't be able to give your best to anything. For teenagers, this could be learning to say no to another extracurricular activity if it's going to interfere with your schoolwork or mental health. For adults, this might mean declining an additional task at work or setting boundaries with your time. Here's a pro tip. When you say no, do it kindly but firmly. You can even offer an alternative, like saying, "I can't do this today, but I could help with it later this week." Setting boundaries is an important part of managing workload and protecting your mental health. Last, but definitely not least, ask for help. We often think we need to handle everything on our own, but that's just not true. Whether you're a student feeling swamped by homework or a professional drowning in work, there's no shame in asking for support. For teens, this might mean talking to a teacher about an extension or reaching out to a classmate for help. For adults, it could mean delegating tasks or speaking to a manager if your workload is becoming unmanageable. Asking for help isn't a sign of weakness. It's a smart way to manage stress and prevent burnout. So, let's recap. To manage work overload in a healthy way, set realistic expectations by breaking big tasks into smaller ones. Prioritize your tasks based on importance and urgency. Take regular breaks to stay sharp and avoid burnout. Learn to say no to protect your time and energy. Reach out for help when you need it. I hope these tips help you manage your workload, whether you're studying for exams or juggling deadlines at the office. Remember, it's all about working smarter, not harder, and taking care of your mental health along the way. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more tips on managing stress and staying mentally healthy. Drop a comment below if you have any other tips for handling work overload, or let me know what other topics you'd like to see next. Take care and see you in the next video.